If I ask you to name any industrial band, you'd probably say 9 Inch Nails, Marilyn Manson, or even Skinny Puppy.
Rise, the place to go.
We think of the crazy imagery that industrial music possessed, black and white video, flashy horror, and political propaganda. But how many people would mention the band from Kingston upon Hull, England, who started it all?
A handful of our people, with their lives, have made our life impossible. Not only we're in a compound situation, those who have left and committed the betrayal of the century. There's no way to detach ourselves from what's happened today.
Hi, I'm Izzy Osborne. Welcome.
Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
There's a lot of disturbing sounds out there, and I'm here covering all of them. 2 artists write about true crimes in the perspective of the killers, victims, and even unfortunate experiences they have to deal with. Even sampling real-life audio of the mass suicide of the Jim Jonestown.
Let's fill this atmosphere with warmth and love.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep post notifications on. Enjoyed this episode.
We went in there to say welcome to the house, and of course they go, well, what do you do? Oh, I do some music. Oh really, what kind? Well, we used to have a band that we used to call what we did industrial music, and her boyfriend goes, oh really? And he goes, and he's got 9 Inch Nails tattooed there, and we said, well, not quite like that. And he goes, Marilyn Manson? No, not really, but we didn't see the point of trying to explain it to him. But that happens a lot, that people think that that's when it began, which is a shame, but that's the result of the United States in media. If it's not on VH1 or MTV, then it didn't happen. I mean, they don't even know the story of their own music anymore, which is why something like this is really important.
The Throbbing Gristle. I talked about this band before in Disturbing Sounds episode 3. At the time, I only know the surface of this band. I didn't realize how important and pioneers they were to this genre. I consider this group to be way ahead of their time, inspired many bands such as Ministry, Skinny Puppy, 9 Inch Nails, KMFDM, and countless others. Chris Carter's use of his self-built synthesizers and samplers, which is a very common place for music today. It's funny how what people think now industrial music is, fuzzy, distorted guitars with heavy hard-hit percussion. The beginning of industrial music was the antithesis of today's industrial music.
Synthesizer. One thing we knew we didn't want was a drummer, because it struck us that rock bands were kind of trapped as soon as they had a drummer. The drummers always go into these particular Western European patterns that they can't stop themselves doing, because they grow up learning these patterns until it's driven into them so they can do them completely automatically and exactly on time, which is a great skill, but it's done. What's the point of doing something that's been done already for decades? There are other people who are always going to do it better. Why not do something that someone doesn't do?
They were the exact opposite of what the mainstream industrial bands do. The Throbbing Gristle were almost like anti-music. They didn't follow any music theory or any correct way to play music. They have a philosophy of anyone can be a musician.
The music was done on the premise that everybody is capable of making music, whether they realize it or not, that we all have a genius factor, and that a musical instrument is just something that makes a noise. Therefore, anything that makes a noise is an instrument, but also anybody who can make it make a noise is a musician. They don't need to know the right way to do it, or the correct, skillful way to do it. In fact, that could even be a hindrance, because they might never discover something really unique that they did by accident because they didn't know the right way. So they will tune it incorrectly, which means they'll get chords no one else will ever get. So our basic approach became that you can't make mistakes. You can only make things that either appeal or don't appeal to certain people.
Before Throbbing Gristle, though, there was COUM or C-O-U-M transmissions.
As that realization was happening in my conscious mind, suddenly all this other information started coming in. And part of that was this phrase, cosmic organicism of the universal molecular. COUM for short, C-O-U-M.
Gristles existed for 10 years?
No, not Throbbing Gristle, that's COUM Transmissions. That was kind of a performance group. We did a lot of sadomasochistic sexual things and pornography. And then we got bored with everyone thinking what we were doing was art, so we decided to spoil it by doing whatever else we were worst at. We just did the music.
I'm not gonna go too deep into COUM transmissions, but if you guys are interested, I'll put a link in the description talking about the history between COUM transmission and Throbbing Gristle. I found many different versions of Slug Bait, so I'm gonna put my favorite one in the link in the description. Throbbing Gristle almost exclusively improvised live, so when it comes to Slug Bait, there are different live interpretations of the song, but approximately the lyrics are the same. And Slug Bait compared to Hamburger Lady, I think Slug Bait is more disturbing.
I walk into your bedroom and I look at you with your...
In the song Slug Bait, P. Orge tells a story of a man who enters a married couple's home, cuts the testicles off the husband and makes him eat them, and cuts open the pregnant wife with a kitchen knife, chewing the premature baby's hand off, licking it clean, quote unquote, and killing it before watching its own mother slowly die from the blood. That reminds me of another song by a different band that talked about a real life story. Who needs sleep, you know? I don't need it. Doesn't exist. And with these lyrics, I think Cannibal Corpse can cover this song.
I think he's dead in front of his pregnant wife.
The screams remind me of Alan Vega's screams from Frank and Teardrop. Slug Bait and Frank and Teardrop almost have like a similar hellish instrumental. But I gotta say, Throbbing Gristle is like the kings and queens of the series. They're the only ones that make my body feel physically ill. Like, listening to the song while reading through the lyrics makes me feel like, dare I say it, flashing on the floor. The lyrics and the perspective of the twisted home intruder, it's very much nightmare fuel. My condolence to anyone who picked up this record unknowingly, thinking they were gonna hear the 20 jazz funk greats.
Oh wow, honey, this is an interesting find.
You gotta get
Oh my.
Between then and now, if you see what I mean. Okay. Oh, funny.
Yeah, I saw some of your stuff. A friend of mine got some in the mail that you sent him.
Excuse me, could you pass me that box?
Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep post notifications on. Stay tuned for next week's Disturbing Songs episode. I know you do not want to miss it. See you guys soon. Bye.
There's no way to detach ourselves from what's happened today.